So this class is really for anyone who wants to create a space that feels meaningful, that tells their story. We'll go step by step through my design process. The first thing I always want to do is just define what's the story you want to tell in this space. Let's start with taking inventory. What do we need to leave in this space? What do we love about it? And then what do we need to take out of it? And then how do you want this space to function for you and your family? How does this space need to work? The next step is establishing the feeling that you want to feel when you step into this space. From there, I really want to identify what's the hero? What am I building everything around? And then we're going to get into layering, like what actually goes in the space. What are the hard finishes? What are the furnishings you're going to put in? What are the textures, the textiles? It's all about creating this place where beautiful moments and memories unfold. And then lastly, I'm going to show you some examples of how I apply these principles to the work that I get to do every day. Throughout this class, I'll be sharing tips around how and where to invest well, so that no matter what budget you have available for your next project, you can still make some meaningful improvements to your space. I'm going to be showing you projects like my own house, which is the farmhouse. In this house, built in the 1880s, I originally infused a modern farmhouse style that we became known for. Over time, though, our home has evolved along with the design aesthetic. Then you'll see a more historic project like the one we call the castle. This house, built in the late 19th century, had been abandoned for decades and needed to be restored. You'll also see the lake house, which is a mid-century meets Spanish-style house built in 1965. A lot of this home's original architecture had been modified and covered up over the years. So we peeled back those layers to restore its original style and highlight the view outside. Next, you'll see a house I like to call minty green. This 1950s cottage required a full renovation inside and out to recreate the character it had lost over the years. Finally, you'll see an example of a traditional home. This is a design style that resonates with a lot of people. It's also a great foundational aesthetic that allows people to build upon with their own unique style. These projects were all very different, but the process I applied to each one of them is the same. And this process, which I'm sharing with you, is one that you can follow with your home. Whether you're doing a full home renovation, dreaming up a new build, or simply refreshing a room in your home with a limited budget. This is what I came up with as my toolbox because I wasn't formally trained. And if it works for you, I want you to use it too. The first step is defining the story you want to tell in the space that you're working on. You want to make sure you take some time to really craft the story. It grounds you in why you're doing this to begin with, and it really grounds the intention of the space. Spending the time to define the story you want to tell before you start will ultimately save you time and money because you'll make fewer changes and fewer mistakes. So anytime I approach a project, again, whether that's a house we're flipping or a home we're renovating for clients or even a personal space in my own home, I always start with a notebook and I like to step into the space. This is the point in the project that I call taking inventory. The taking inventory step helps you evaluate just the basic foundation of the space or the home that you feel like tell the story and the history. What's the architecture? When was this home built? What do I love about this house? What are the details that I want to make sure I carry forward as I start to add my own layers and my own story? I'll look at the molding, I'll look at the floor, I'll look at the trim work, any millwork, I'll look at the windows. What stays, what goes. When I say take inventory, it really depends on what house, what home I'm working with. There are so many homes that we've done where you don't really feel the soul of the home anymore. When we bought this farmhouse, you would see these decade trends that were happening all throughout the house, where they were renovating. In the 50s and 60s, that's when the linoleum floors covered up the pine floors. And then the layer after the pine floors in the 80s, they did carpet. So that magic was covered up. Part of my job is unearthing that original, authentic story of that home and to really highlight those elements that I can only imagine were highlighted in the late 1800s. And so what we uncovered here at the farm when we pulled the drywall off the walls was this shiplap product. And then we had these pine floors. And so a lot of what you see at the farm was truly original. Of all the projects that we've done in the last 25 years, the project that had the biggest inventory list was the castle. That was one where I knew right when I stepped in the house, my job here is to preserve this piece of history, not to change anything. We're talking about a home that was built in the late 1800s, but it had sat vacant for 20 to 25 years. I've never experienced a home like this before, where in every room, it was like a treasure trove of the most amazing finishes and details. I'm taking inventory, keeping the molding, keeping the plaster molding, keeping the trim, the baseboards, keeping the millwork, keeping the fireplace, keeping the mirror, keeping the floors. I didn't have to add anything, and there was nothing that I took away. It just needed a lot of dusting off. In other cases, if you're flipping a house or if you got a really good deal on a house, even brand new spec homes, you walk in and you're like, there's no character. Taking inventory on minty green. On the outside, it looked like a ton of character. I mean, you had these wood shingles, wood windows. But then after that, you walk in and everything was stripped. There was no crown molding, the ceilings were low, the windows were rotted. When I stepped into that space, it was very different than the castle in that there was really nothing to keep, minus some of the floors that weren't rotted out. And so it was really kind of starting from scratch. When you're starting with a new build, you kind of just have a blank slate. How do I take inventory on something that doesn't even exist? The inventory that I say to take in that case is when you're driving around in neighborhoods, start honing in on the styles and the designs that really speak to you. What kind of architecture do you love? And add that to your inventory list. Another situation could be you've been in your home for quite some time, you're ready to refresh some spaces. Whether that means from a construction and design standpoint or just I want to change out the rug and the sofa. That's all about taking inventory, going room by room and evaluating what do I want to pull out? What doesn't speak to me anymore? What did I fill this space with years ago to get it done? And then how do you add more of that story as your story has evolved? Sometimes taking inventory means things that you can't change yet because there's no budget for it. It's not always about starting from scratch. There are times where you've got to live with some of the stuff. So maybe I don't like the floors, but I really don't like the paint color. So what is the thing that you hate the most? Fix that when you have the money for it. And then the other things that you have to live with, just remember, nothing has to happen overnight. Don't forget that the moments that are happening within the home matter way more than anything when it comes to design and styling and renovation. So I've shared with you different levels of where you're taking inventory, but I think the biggest thing is honing in on that instinct of, I really love this and I want to play that up versus I don't love this, I need to work with it and be okay with it, or I can pull it out and reimagine it altogether.